got Garrett in bad shape. He's going to check it over.
Together, even though first experience.
Probably 1 year, 2 years, we just
I went to Europe by myself.
Really? Everything's 24 hours. The nightlife is like crazy. It's like very like similar to Western culture.
Yeah.
I always try to
have another room.
follow Western culture.
Both ways, you know.
The girls are like real.
It's the more like genuine
You were
experience,
really
like the more fuller experience staying in hostels.
Yeah.
And the girls like outnumber the guys. So you
I'm not trying to be in the hospital.
That makes sense. I got it.
Free raise, 2,100. Free raise, 6,000.
This is a contest. Who's got the bigger balls? I'll go out.
Look at this. 3-bet from Garrett and a 4-bet from Andy. Garrett sees that it doesn't make a ton of sense, puts in the call. 12,950 in the flop. Andy takes the lead. Check. Check, check, and Garrett now picking up a flush draw to go along with his gut shot. Half pot from Garrett. And I want to let you guys know, looking at Garrett's stack, I think the graphic is incorrect about how much he has. I think he's got significantly more behind. I believe he actually covers Andy, as Andy does put in the call. Bang. Garrett gets there. Let's see what the GOAT wants to do.
Yeah, the big one was coming.
Brutal spot for Andy facing a full pot bet from Garrett. So much history between these two. Another time extension from Andy. Pretty unorthodox start to this hand. Was a 4-bet pot. Andy check back flop. Garrett fired turn into Andy. Got there river. And now Andy in the blender trying to decide if one pair is good.
25.
That is going to be the biggest pot of the day. $74,950. Garrett Adelstein with a monster pot.
1 second later, it's folded. So that'd be for you.
Raise 300. 13.
I'll let the men play.
Garrett's got King 10 of clubs, and Andy trying to chip away. He's 3-bet King Jack of hearts from the small blind. Heads up to Ace 7 7 2 hearts. Pretty good flop for Andy.
11.
Andy C-bets and a call from Garrett. Andy stays in the lead on the turn here. He's got Garrett in bad shape. He's going to check it over. Garrett checks as well. 10 of hearts. Flush for Andy. Aces and kings for Garrett. $6,500 from Andy with the second nut flush. Excuse me, in this case the nut flush because we have the ace of hearts on board. Let's see how Garrett reacts.
35,000.
That's what I thought. Garrett might be planning something. Blockers galore for Garrett. Blocks ace king. Blocks pocket tens. Has a hand that he doesn't want to call with. Garrett Adelstein, the GOAT. Doing it again. Putting Andy's stacks in the blender. What a day here at Live at the Bike. What a rough one for Andy. And he quickly folds. The flush.
What time is it right now?
King high flush for Andy, and Garrett
What time is it?
using the blockers,
18?
putting him in the blender, and garnering the quick fold. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man.
1:30. So 1 more hour till it's 5.
Just a rough sequence for Andy.